Hey, Battle Bill, here with another video, getting some Fighting Cup Remix Go Battle League battles, and even though I do not plan to play this meta much because it is an insanely small meta, I figured I'd at least give you one team for some potential success in some Fighting Remix Cup battles, and that is this team of Throw, Toxicroak, and Shadow Machamp. And Shadow Machamp is probably one of the best safe swaps that you'll be able to use in this very condensed meta. Throw being the top tier lead mon to use because it counters all the Toxicroaks, and I mean all the Toxicroaks that are going to be everywhere in this meta. This is literally just Toxic Cup. I don't know why anybody thought this was going to be called Fighting Cup Remix. It's literally just Toxic Cup, and of course I'm also running my own Toxicroak, but we have some top tier battles here while I'm on my push to getting Elo, running Shadow Machamp on the safe swap, and as you can see, thanks to it, I'm in a positive shielding scenario. Even though my Shadow Machamp safe swap got matched with a Toxicroak earlier, I'm still able to align myself in a condition where I now have shield advantage, and I have Toxie on regular Poliwrath, which is going to be an ideal matchup for us considering the circumstances. Even though Shadow Poly in general can beat Toxie with this shield advantage, we're sitting in a great spot. But yes, as we continue to get into these battles, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, really quick, shout out to the homie HomesliceHenry for doing a little shoutcast of some submitted battles that I sent to his channel. It was for some Great League Remix content, which I know is essentially, dead now that the week is up. Those triple high horsepower, had a lot of fun there, and I really appreciated Henry having me on the channel. I'll throw a link to that video in the description. I'm sure you're already subscribed to his channel as it is. But here we go, Shadow Machamp on the safe swap with a close combat. Boom! In the last battle, the Toxie held on with 1 HP. This time, we take out the Toxicroak. I have no idea what real differences happened there. I'm assuming it has to be something that's IV dependent, but either way, we'll take it. In most cases, you will get the Toxie to 1 HP and still be in a good spot because, of course, the biggest goal in Toxic Cup is take down their Toxicroak. Either way, now we still have ours up against their Poliwrath. We're going to double shield here and then commit to a counter down. We don't know what their third mon is. We're hoping that it's something that Throw will counter, and it is their own secondary Toxicroak, aka Hisui and Sneasel. Now, Hisui Sneasel is pretty good in this meta, nowhere near as good as Toxicroak, but it does have the same typing of fighting poison. It gets access to Poison Jab, Aerial Ace, and Close Combat. We should be able to Zen Headbutt almost all the way down. We will get to the Body Slam. This will take out the Hisui and Sneasel's remaining health, and then the Poliwrath's going to come back in, and we just have plenty of health while they're only down to 1 HP, and that is GG's for that match. But yes, I had a blast running this team, but this meta is genuinely a snooze fest. Running into the same 5 Pokemon over and over and over again in the exact same scenarios gets old quite quick, so expect a bunch of open Great League content coming from me for the following week. Plus, I had a lot of fun. I have another collection of battles that I'm very excited to shoutcast for you guys referring to that meta. Now, here I got Dynamic Punch by a Poliwrath, which completely caught me off guard for my opponent, and then they Dynamic Punched me with their Toxicroak, which also completely caught me off guard, which meant I couldn't farm down. I was forced to throw this Body Slam here, and I think we take them out because they decide not to shield. We're in an even shielding scenario, but the problem is that Poliwrath is going to farm us all the way down, and we're down to just having a Toxie. Our hope is that we could potentially counter all the way down, and even at the 2 shield to 0 shield scenario, we may have a chance, but we just do not. We top left, we say GG's to our opponent. They have the ultimate Toxicroak answer there in Throw, and no matter what the shielding was, we were pretty much screwed. Getting to this next match, we have a positive lead, and then they safe swap Hitmonlee, which I big respect. That's huge spice, especially considering the meta that we have going on here. But even with landing that close combat, we're going to be able to comfortably counter down, which again is why, Shadow Machamp is the way, because even that resisted close combat packs so much more of a punch from Shadow Machamp than it does from a Hitmonlee in that circumstance. So we're able to keep alignment and practically almost one-shot the Toxicroak's remaining health. They're going to get to a charge move here. Their Toxicroak survives with 1 HP, and this comes down to whatever their last Pokemon is, but we have the huge advantage with 2 Pokemon to their 1, and this game is essentially over. We have even shields. We're going to throw a Body Slam with our Throw. They have a little bit of a counter advantage on our potential Machamp, but we have their shield advantage, and honestly, we could probably just counter them all the way down. So this is going to be GG's. Our opponent is going to decide to throw the energy because, they're on their last rope of cope. Completely understandable. I've done the same thing in certain circumstances, but there is just nothing they can do to pull out this match, and our counter sneaks through on their charge move and takes out their Shadow Machamp. So let me know what your thoughts are. I mean, battles aren't over, but let me know your thoughts on Fighting Cup Remix battles. I apparently did not do a good edit on this part. How did I miss this part? Oh my god, this is such a long in between battles. My fault. And let me know if you've been running any spice at all. Have you been trying to have success without Toxicroak? Because that'd be heavily impressive. But as you'll see with this team, the main goal is, unless we get a Toxicroak lead lined up with our throw, is to save swap into Shadow Machamp, and that is what we do here. We can actually flip switch if we wanted to, but our goal here isn't to flip switch. Our goal is to just land a close combat on that Toxicroak so that it's no longer an issue. Now that we've gotten it down a bunch of health, we're going to come back in with our throw, fully expecting that Poliwrath to come back in, and we're going to be spamming up some Zen Headbutts on it and throwing some Body Slams. And we're just going to let throw become a meat shield, because it's relatively one of the bulkier mons in this meta. It eats that Scald and technically could survive another one, but the Mudshot damage will add up residually, and the next Scald will take us out. But at the very least, we get a shield with that Body Slam. We're doing some good, super effective Zen Headbutt damage to essentially help our Toxicroak in what's going to be the 2 versus 1 shield scenario against their Poliwrath and whatever their last mon is. We just need to hope that when they get to another Scald here, that we can shield it and that they do not get the debuff. That is going to be my biggest concern, and they do not get the debuff. They come in with the Shadow Machamp, and this match is essentially GG. We're going to outpace them. They also throw their move right away, which means we know this is just a regular cross shot and not a close combat that we need to be worried about. That is the only move that Toxicroak needs to respect from a champ, and even specifically Shadow Machamp. This isn't even a Shadow, so I don't even know how much a regular close combat would have done in this circumstance, but I'm sure we could have respected it regardless. Either way, we double Mud Bomb their Machamp, they don't get to another move, we counter down the Poliwrath, and that is GG's to our opponent there. Getting into the next match. There we go. I was like, did I really like screw up all my cuts on this? We have a positive lead with throw on the Toxicroak. They're countering away at us, but we want to stay in this matchup because of the double super effective Zen Headbutt damage that we're dealing. We could easily eat a Mud Bomb here. We could have honestly easily eaten a Sludge Bomb too. After they threw that, I was tempted to Zen Headbutt down. I don't know exactly how the counts work out because I only played out this matchup so many times. If I could have potentially Zen Headbutted before they had gotten to another Mud Bomb, but I really didn't want to leave this scenario down a shield. Either way, we're sitting in a good spot. They come in with Surf Edge. We're going to come in with Toxicroak. The only thing we have to be worried about is them potentially landing a Brave Bird, because that would one-shot us for some heavy, super effective damage, but we call their bait, and that ends up being huge. We survive with a bunch of health. This is going to be another Leaf Blade. We would survive, but we want to preserve our Toxicroak, so we're going to shield their counter as much as possible. They come in with a Shadow Machamp, and we're not in a bad spot because we're practically at 2 Mud Bombs. We're going to throw them back to back, get our opponent's remaining shields, and hope that we can go into our Machamp and take out their Machamp while up a shield. The concern is that they're almost at 2, and I'm pretty sure this is a match where I make a misplay because I get to my cross chop here and I should have thrown it instead. Or I get to my cross chop here, and I should have thrown it because they get to a cross chop, a second one, and I just barely survive. Instead, I commit to a counter down, which is a mistake, the misplay, because what would have happened differently there is if I throw the cross chop, I take out their Machamp, and then my Machamp counters their Surf Edge down, and my Toxicroak survives with 1 HP, and I would have won that match. But yes, I had a bunch of success with this team. If you do opt to play in the Fighting Cup Remix meta, I highly recommend this team. 2/3 of the team is super usable in some Open Great League meta between having a Toxicroak and a Shadow Machamp build. Definitely some recommended builds for PvP. Throw, on the other hand, not so much, but Throw is relatively cheap. You really don't need Focus Blast on it. Completely unnecessary move to purchase with your Stardust. Just run Zed Headbutt and Body Slam, and you can have a lot of success with it. But on that note, let me know your thoughts on the battles. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Oh yeah, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Preach!